Not all SUVs are built to last. While some engines are engineered for power and reliability, others are complete disasters, costing owners thousands in repairs, breakdowns, and even fires. From excessive oil consumption to catastrophic failures, these are the 10 worst SUV engines of all time. Let's dive in. Number 10. Ford Escape Engines. The Ford Escape engines, particularly the 1.5-liter and 1.6-liter EcoBoost variants, have built a reputation for all the wrong reasons. These turbocharged engines are notorious for excessive oil consumption, often burning through oil so quickly that owners are left wondering if they even filled it up in the first place. Turbocharger failures are another common issue, leading to sudden power loss and leaving drivers stranded at the worst possible moments. Timing chain problems only add to the headache, while many owners experiencing rough idling, engine stalling, and, in worst cases, complete engine failure. But the real disaster came with the 2013 and 2014 models, which suffered from severe coolant leaks. The leaks were so widespread that they led to catastrophic overheating and, in some cases, actual engine fires, prompting Ford to issue multiple recalls and even face class action lawsuits. Despite these recalls, many owners were left footing repair bills that excessively exceeded $5,000. While the Escape may seem like a solid fuel-efficient SUV on the surface, its engine reliability issues make it one of the worst offenders in its class. For those considering a used model, this is one vehicle you might want to escape from before it's too late. Number 9. Jaguar F-Pace Engines. On paper, the Jaguar F-Pace seems like the perfect luxury SUV, sleek design, powerful engine options, and signature Jaguar performance. But under the hood, it's a different story. If you bought a 2017 or 2020 F-Pace, you probably learned this the hard way. The 2.0-liter Ingenium diesel suffers from timing chain failures. The 2.0-liter Ingenium diesel suffers from timing chain failures that can destroy the engine, while turbocharger failures leave owners with sky-high repair bills. The 3.0-liter V6 diesel isn't better. Its crankshaft failure can completely seize the engine. Even the 5.0-liter supercharged V8 has cheap plastic water pump parts that crack over time, causing coolant leaks and breakdowns. Beyond the engines, the F-Pace is notorious for electrical issues, excessive oil consumption, and costly repairs with engine replacements reaching $25,000. Even with the diesel model's 45 miles per gallon, 19.3 kilometers per liter fuel economy, reliability is a major concern. With a starting price of $58,275 climbing to $94,000 for the SVR, you'd expect quality, but instead, you get constant headaches. If you're considering one, maybe just pace yourself before signing that check. Number 8. Nissan Juke Engines. The Nissan Juke is one of those SUVs you either love or hate. Its quirky design, compact size, and sporty handling made it a head-turner in 2010. But if you bought one, chances are you weren't turning heads, just turning into a repair shop. Early models, 2011 to 2013, came with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which should have been fun, but turned into a nightmare. Excessive oil consumption, turbo failures, and timing chain issues led to complete engine failure as early as 70,000 miles. Repairs weren't cheap, averaging $2,400 to $4,000, with some owners needing full engine replacements. And the CVT transmission? Just as bad. Slipping, hesitation, and total failure were common, with replacements often costing more than the car itself. Nissan tried to fix the mess with extended warranties and recalls, but the damage was done. Sure, the Juke had decent fuel efficiency, 28 to 32 miles per gallon highway, 18 to 20 kilometers per liter for later models, but constant breakdowns, electrical glitches, and suspension issues overshadowed it. Even newer models never fully shook their reliability problems. With its fun styling and handling, the Juke had potential, but Nissan dropped the ball with an engine and transmission that just couldn't go the distance. If you want an SUV that won't drain your wallet on repairs, avoid the Juke at all costs. Number 7. Subaru EJ25 Engines. Subaru is loved by outdoor adventurers and rally enthusiasts, but if you've owned an EJ25 powered Forester, Outback, or Legacy, you probably spent more time in a repair shop than on the trails. This 2.5-liter boxer 4-cylinder had potential, but became a ticking time bomb. The biggest problem? Head gasket failures. Thanks to its open deck block design, thin cylinder walls, and cheap gaskets, coolant leaks were inevitable. Overheating, oil contamination, and engine failure often hit before 100,000 miles. Subaru upgraded to multi-layer steel gaskets after 2005, but even those weren't foolproof. Turbocharged EJ255 and EJ257 versions had even worse issues. Weak pistons cracked under pressure, causing oil burning and compression loss. Tuning? A gamble. Some engines survived, many didn't. Fixing an EJ25 isn't cheap. Since the engine must be pulled for a head gasket replacement, repairs can hit $1,500 to $2,000, and some owners went through multiple fixes. With 20 to 25 miles per gallon combined, fuel economy was decent, but that hardly matters when your car is constantly overheating. Subaru fans defend this engine, but let's be real. If an SUV is more famous for blown head gaskets than off-road compatibility, it deserves a spot on this list. Number 6. Mercedes GLE Engines. Spending $56,000+ on a luxury SUV should mean reliability, but if you own a Mercedes GLE, think again. This SUV may look sophisticated, but under the hood, it's a mechanical headache waiting to happen. The 2.0-liter M264 Turbo 4 and 3.0-liter Incline 6 are the worst offenders, plagued by timing chain failures, oil consumption, and Camtronic valve timing issues. Owners report engine knocking, oil leaks, and failures before 100,000 miles. The M264's 255 HP and 273 pound-feet look good on paper, but timing chain stretches, turbo failures, and carbon buildup make it a nightmare to maintain. The 48V EQ Boost hybrid system, great in theory, often suffers from electrical malfunctions and costly repairs. The Mercedes Hot V turbo setup generates excessive heat, accelerating gasket wear and oil leaks, turning simple fixes into wallet-draining nightmares. With $1,200+ in yearly maintenance, premium fuel requirements, and persistent electronic issues, the GLE is a luxury SUV that comes with built-in headaches. Even after updates and extended warranties, owners still report recurring problems. If you're considering a GLE, be ready to pay for luxury and endless repairs. Number 5. Range Rover Velar Engines. The Range Rover Velar is all about style and tech, but under the hood, a disaster waiting to happen. Despite its $60,000+ price tag, the 2.0-liter Ingenium diesel and petrol engines are plagued with oil consumption, timing chain failures, and turbo issues. Both the Ingenium diesel 180 to 240 HP, and turbo petrol 250 HP drink oil excessively, often a quart every 1,000 to 2,000 miles due to faulty piston rings and valve seals. If ignored, expect complete engine failure. The timing chain is another weak point. When it snaps, say goodbye to your engine and $6,000+ in repairs. Turbocharger failures lead to power loss, blue smoke, and whining noises, often requiring costly replacements. Add in engine misfires, rough idling, overheating, and a hot V-turbo setup that burns through gaskets, and you've got an SUV that's more trouble than it's worth. Even with decent fuel economy, 13.1 kilometers per liter petrol, 15.2 kilometers per liter diesel, Frequent breakdowns and sky-high repair costs make long-term ownership a nightmare. Land Rover's updates haven't solved the issues, so unless you enjoy burning money, avoid the Velar. Number 4. Cadillac Escalade V8-6.4 Engines. Imagine cruising in a Cadillac Escalade, enjoying the power of a 6.2-liter V8, when suddenly it starts hesitating, sputtering, and making weird dieseling sounds. Welcome to the nightmare of Cadillac's V8-6.4 engine, one of the biggest flops in automotive history. In 1981, Cadillac introduced cylinder deactivation technology, allowing the engine to switch between 4, 6, and 8 cylinders to save fuel. Great idea, terrible execution. The Computer Command Module, CCM, meant to manage these transitions, constantly glitched, causing jerky acceleration, rough idling, and power loss. The solenoids controlling cylinder deactivation failed frequently, leading to misfires, excessive wear, and engine breakdowns. Despite 13 programming updates in 1 year, the problems never got fixed, forcing Cadillac to abandon the system by 1982. And the worst part? Fuel economy barely improved, meaning owners suffered through all the downsides with no real benefit. This engine was a cautionary tale proof that even great ideas can fail if the tech isn't ready. The V8-6.4 aimed to change the game, but landed on this list instead. Number 3. Chevrolet Equinox 2.4-liter engines. If there's one SUV engine that screams buyer's remorse, it's the Chevrolet Equinox's 2.4-liter four-cylinder. On paper, it promised 182 horsepower, solid fuel economy, and modern tech. In reality, a ticking time bomb. The biggest nightmare: excessive oil consumption. Owners had to add a quart every 1,000 to 2,000 miles due to worn-out piston rings and faulty valve seals. Ignore it, and you risk catastrophic engine failure. GM knew about the issue. Internal documents confirmed it. But instead of a recall, they offered special coverage adjustments that didn't always help. Then there's the timing chain, notorious for stretching, jumping teeth, and causing misfires. If it snapped, pistons and valves collided, leading to seized engines and repair bills in the thousands, sometimes before 100,000 miles. Number 2. BMW N63 engines, used in BMW X5, X6. If you're looking for one of the most over-engineered yet unreliable SUV engines ever, look no further than BMW's infamous N63 twin-turbo V8. First introduced in 2008, this 4.4-liter powerhouse packed anywhere from 402 to 525 horsepower, making it a beast on paper. It featured BMW's Valvetronic 3 system, direct fuel injection, and dual Vanos variable valve timing, all working together to create smooth acceleration and an aggressive exhaust note. But despite all the high-tech wizardry, the N63 is a ticking time bomb, especially in SUVs like the BMW X5 and X6. One of the engine's biggest flaws? It burns oil like a two-stroke dirt bike. Many owners reported needing to add a quart of oil every 600 to 800 miles, a ridiculous amount for a modern luxury SUV. The culprits? Faulty piston rings and valve stem seals, which allowed oil to seep into the combustion chamber. Ignore it for too long, you're looking at severe engine damage. Since the N63 uses twin turbochargers, you'd expect top-tier performance, but instead, the Hot V engine design, which places the turbos between the cylinder banks, led to disastrous heat buildup. This cooked gaskets and seals, leading to boost leaks, oil starvation, and premature turbo failures. Replacing just one turbo? Up to $5,000. And since both turbos usually fail together, the cost doubles. To make matters worse, the N63 suffers from constant coolant leaks and overheating issues. The water pump, thermostat, and coolant pipes all tend to fail, often leading to catastrophic engine damage if not caught early. Given the high temperatures this engine runs at, this was a disaster waiting to happen. Another major headache? The N63 drains batteries like crazy. Even when the car is off, the active cooling system keeps running, leading to premature battery failures. Many owners found themselves replacing their batteries every year, a huge inconvenience given BMW's high repair costs. BMW recommends oil changes every 10,000 miles, but given the oil consumption problem, most owners had to do them every 5,000 miles using expensive premium synthetic oil. Repairs like timing chain replacements, fuel injector failures, and carbon buildup cleanings could easily exceed $10,000. Even though the N63 gets 15 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway, any savings on fuel were immediately wiped out by constant repairs. BMW did not roll out technical updates and extended warranties, but they couldn't undo the N63's awful reputation. Even in later revisions, many of the core issues persisted, and owners were left dealing with expensive, recurring problems. The BMW N63 was an ambitious engine that failed spectacularly in reliability. With oil consumption issues, turbo failures, cooling system nightmares, and sky-high maintenance costs, it's no surprise that it became one of the worst SUV engines of all time. Number 1. Hyundai Theta II. Finally, at number 1 on our list of the worst SUV engines ever, we have an engine that has caused countless breakdowns, lawsuits, and even fires. The Hyundai Theta II. This 2.0-liter and 2.4-liter inline-4 engine found in SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe, Tucson, and Kia Sorento was designed to be efficient and powerful. Featuring multi-point injection (MPI) and gasoline direct injection (GDI) for better fuel economy, continuously variable valve timing (CVVT) for optimized performance, a balanced shaft module to reduce vibrations, and turbocharging in 2.0-liter variants, producing up to 274 horsepower. Sounds great, right? Wrong. This engine turned out to be a disaster waiting to happen, plagued by catastrophic failures, excessive oil consumption, engine seizing, and even spontaneous fires. One of the biggest reasons the Theta II is a total failure is due to weak connecting rod bearings and poor oil flow, which caused metallic debris to accumulate inside the engine. Over time, this led to excessive friction, premature wear, and eventual engine seizure. Many owners heard knocking noises before the engine completely locked up, often while driving at highway speeds, which created major safety risks. Repairs? Easily over $5,000. Excessive oil consumption was another infuriating issue. Some owners reported burning through a quart of oil every 1,000 miles, leading to low oil levels, engine overheating, and severe internal damage. If you didn't constantly check your oil, your engine could fail completely without warning. To make matters worse, poor design and manufacturing defects led to overheating and oil leaks, which in some cases caused engine fires. This issue was so severe that Hyundai and Kia recalled over 1.7 million vehicles worldwide and faced multiple class action lawsuits. Even after recalls and extended warranties, many owners still reported problems, proving that Hyundai's fixes weren't enough. The Theta II powered SUVs typically cost $20,000 to $35,000, with fuel economy around 22 miles per gallon city, 32 miles per gallon highway. But none of that matters when your engine fails before 150,000 miles. Despite Hyundai's efforts to patch up the problem, the Theta II engine remains one of the most notorious failures in modern automotive history. With catastrophic engine seizures, excessive oil consumption, and fire risks, the Hyundai Theta II is hands down the worst SUV engine of all time. It's a prime example of how cutting corners in manufacturing can lead to massive recalls, lawsuits, and a ruined reputation. If you see an SUV with a Theta II engine, run. And that's our list for the worst SUV engines ever. Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss more brutally honest car breakdowns. See you in the next one.